Hi, this is Manesh Patel from ichimokutrade.com. Today is July 24th, 2013. This is our analysis for the global stock market, where we're going to cover everything from North America, South America, Europe, and Asia. It's been a while since we've done one of these videos. We've kind of taken off for the summer, and we will be getting back to regularly doing these either weekly or bi-weekly for all the global markets, including currencies and also futures and stuff like that. But anyways, let's begin. This is our normal disclaimer. This is for education use only. If you decide to take any trades from this video, you're doing that at your own risk. All the charts today you're going to see are pretty much from eSignal. Here are our contact details here, where you can reach us at info@eiicapital.com, or you could call us at any of our global office locations here. And you're also more than welcome to go to ichimokutrade.com, which is our website. You can get a 30-day free trial for our gray box signals that we have, multiple time frame Ichimoku signals. Also, we have a lot of free videos out there, from Ichimoku 101 to various other videos and stuff like that. So check that out. It's free to register, and you could get access to everything there. Okay, so let's begin, and let's go straight to eSignal as we normally do. And let me adjust these charts because they're a little off. Okay, so we're going to start off with the UK. This is basically the FTSE. Remember, on the left hand side is basically the daily time frame. On the right hand side is basically weekly time frame. You could see here we're kind of entering a little consolidation period here in the last couple of months, and you could see right now the support is basically 64.52 and the resistance is 67.42. Sorry, 67.24. It looks like it's trying to retest the high, but it could sit there and possibly consolidate between these two before it retests the high here, which we're kind of expecting it to do. You kind of need a pullback right now, and tomorrow you should hopefully get a pullback. If not, it'll go to 67.24, then experience a pullback. Germany, a little more bullish than the UK. As you can see, it's right at a resistance right now, which is 83.94. Support, of course, is 79 over here. 79, I think that's 94 right there. Okay, and you can see this is kind of consolidating here at the top too. France, away from its resistance, which is 4,004. Support is going to be 38.23. You notice Germany, UK, and France are pretty much the same way. They're approaching resistance. The only one that's at resistance right now is Germany, but a lot of them are approaching it. They had a trend, had a pullback. This is not a major pullback, believe it or not, and now they're kind of trying to retest the high, at least go partial to there. But this is more of a consolidation pattern that we're entering now, which with a wide volatility, believe it or not. Okay, Amsterdam, if you look here again, it's also at a resistance of 373. Support is 352. Spain, here, believe it or not, still going sideways between 76.16 and 82.11. Not really much doing anything except just going sideways right now. A lot of people think it's broken out. It hasn't. Italy is the same thing. It's basically going sideways between 15,100 and 94 and 16,517. Really hasn't done much of anything there outside that. Nordic, here, this was trending, kind of did a major pullback, believe it or not. Now basically trying to retest the resistance, which is the high, which is 11,087, and the support is basically 11,119. Okay, Oslo, if you look at Oslo, it's actually broken resistance. It's kind of broken a little of the high, not completely, we'll say, confirmed breaking a high, but it is on its all-time high right now. Support on this one's going to be 480. You kind of want to see a push above that, and it's kind of broken a little high above here. Reason why you got an even number of 500. Most likely will probably touch 500 and then bounce off there and go for a pullback. But this does need a major pullback, which it really hasn't experienced at all. Switzerland, which was leading the way last year and at the beginning of this year, kind of finally did a pullback. It's not a major one at all. Support on this is going to be 78.22, and resistance is going to be 82.81. Israel, which has pretty much been leading the way right now as far as Europe is concerned. You can see Israel is very, very strong. It hasn't even gone for a medium pullback, believe it or not. It's at its resistance right now, which is an all-time high, which is basically 4,800. Support's going to be 43.81. If it breaks this, and momentum's still very strong to a point it can, this is going to keep on going higher. So keep an eye on Israel, but that is pretty much leading everything out in Europe right now. Turkey, not really doing much of anything right now. It's butting against resistance at 44.61. Support's 41.89. Austria, doing the same thing, kind of consolidating between the two. This is the ETF, which, no, sorry, that's a stock. We shouldn't even be looking at that guy right there. Let's just delete him. So it's not there. South Africa has broken resistance here, which was 88.89. That's now support. It's all going to its all-time high, trying to get to about 9,600 and maybe 10,000. I think before the end of the year, this probably will get to about 10,000, believe it or not. But right now, it kind of needs a pullback. It really hasn't gone for any major pullback at all. Sooner or later, it's going to need it. May get to 10,000, then do it, but right now, it'd be a good point where it does pull back, hopefully to about 80, 90, which would be a good pullback level, and at that point, take off to about 10,000 and get some momentum going forward there. Next, we're going to cover the Middle East. Middle East is pretty much leading the world, and it's very, very strong. And you could kind of still see it's very, very strong here. You could see it's out at the all-time high, and it's still going higher. And you could see both support resistances are moving up. And you could see the next support right now is 75.37 and 73.96. But Saudi Arabia is very, very strong right now. Dubai still strong too. Support now is basically 24.97 and 23.89, but they're continuing to move forward. Abu Dhabi, which is being pretty much stronger than any country in the world right now, even Dubai and Saudi Arabia. And this thing is still on a tear going up. Support is basically 36.75 and 33 about 44. But Abu Dhabi is pretty much leading the world right now as far as world markets is concerned. Qatar is basically gone. Finally started making a bullish move here, just like everything in the Middle East. And actually, this is the company, so that's not even Qatar. So let's ignore that one. Let's delete this too. And then Kuwait. Kuwait really not doing anything here. And this is a symbol too. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so that pretty much covers it right now. But Abu Dhabi is pretty much leading the world, everything worldwide. Israel is pretty much leading Europe right now. Let's go over to Asia. Let's start with China because China always seems to be in the news. Remember this point right here, we shorted China going down. And at that point, we took profit here. Kind of need to see what happened. And you could see China kind of broke down. It's below the clouds, so the sentiment is bearish now on the long-term basis. It's at a support, which is basically 2064. Resistance is 2189. So stuck between the range between those two right now, and we got to kind of see exactly what's going to happen there. Hong Kong, you could see it's more bullish than China, believe it or not, because it's in the cloud. But it's basically stuck between support at 21,007 and basically resistance, which is 22,662. But this thing's just consolidating, so there's nothing really going on there. Korea here is also stuck too. Sentiment is bearish, but it's kind of doing a bullish pullback right now. Resistance on this is going to be about 250. Support on this guy is about 242 right now, and the next one's going to be 223. Japan, which was doing really, really good, kind of went for a pullback. It's not even a major pullback, believe it or not, but kind of did a big, big pullback here for all the way to 16,000, all the way down to 12,500, which scared a lot of people and got a lot of people hurt. It's starting slowly to make a move back up. The next resistance is going to run into 15,159. However, this needs to pull back to about 13,685, and at that point, we could kind of see what happens. If it holds the 13,685, then it's got a high possibility of breaking the 15,159 and going to 16,000 by the end of the year. But we gotta wait and see what's going to happen. India here with the Sensex. It's kind of flirting around with a high right now, which is 20,207, which it pretty much hasn't been able to break. I think this is just consolidating, and this is the top of the range now. I think this is going to go for a pullback and possibly get all the way back down here to 19,293. So I'd be very careful trying to go bullish here because your reward risk is not going to be good at all. Singapore was doing good. Finally, it's trying to sit there and probably try to do its major pullback before it does. It's got to sit there and retest 15,000 up here, 1,000. Actually, this looks like a stock. That's a stock. Sorry about that. Let's delete this too. Okay, Malaysia. So Malaysia here, you could see it's trying to retest the high 1824. It's getting closer and closer there. Support is going to be 1757. Indonesia here is basically trying to go for a major pullback. Resistance is going to run into is 4809, and support is basically going to be around 4600. Thailand. Notice all these little countries here in Southeast Asia, they were doing great. Now they finally going for a pullback. This is right at resistance right now, Thailand, which is basically around 1500, and that's the resistance there. Support is going to be 1352. So that's basically the new consolidation range, I think. Here's Philippines. Philippines here is pulling back to resistance. It's going to be 4231. Support is going to be 4031. Vietnam. Really not doing anything at all. Here in the daily, we don't have enough data for the weekly. Here on the basically daily, it's telling you it's ranging between 13,000 and 14,000. So not much really going on. Let's go to South Asia with Australia. Australia here still hasn't gone for a major pullback right now. It's at a resistance which is 50.22. Next resistance is going to be 51.80, 51.28, and the major support is basically going to be 48.33. But this is kind of weak now and kind of consolidating, which it was very strong. New Zealand here is still very, very strong here in Asia, and you could see that here. It's trying to retest a high of 46.48. Support is going to be 44.30. So if you look at summary right now, Abu Dhabi is pretty much leading the world as far as the world markets and also leading the Middle East. Israel is kind of leading the East Europe, and if you look here, New Zealand's kind of leading Asia. If you kind of group South Asia, Southeast Asia, and China and area and all that stuff together. Okay. If you go to the north in the U.S. America, North and South America, you've got the U.S. markets, which are at its all-time high, pretty much here, butting against resistance, which is 15,539 for the Dow, and they're still at its resistance. They're kind of overextended now. The S&P basically is 1684. Most likely will reach 1700 before it even probably goes through, does a major pullback. Canada, which was kind of consolidating and is still consolidating in a major tear right now. Big for wide range, which is basically support of 12,328. Resistance is 12,894. Mexico here. Mexico was doing good. It's gone for a major pullback. Support is 39,300, and resistance here is going to be 41,370. If this breaks this resistance, this has a high probability of actually retesting the high. So I keep an eye on this one, believe it or not. But it probably won't do that for a little while. I think it has to sit there and come back and retest the support, hold it there, and then if it does hold it there, I think it's going to make a move to go back to 41,415. Once it breaks that, then it can make a move to retest the high. Probably retest the high sometime probably next year. This year, I think it's going to sit there and not do that at all. Argentina just kind of consolidating here between 32.30 and about 3,500. Santiago, Chile, really not doing anything. It's bear sentiment. Support is 37.40 and resistance is 39.59. And then lastly, you got Brazil. A lot of people said this is the bottom, which is about 45,549. However, you can't really count this out. Next resistance is 50,580, which is very, very critical. If it sits there and holds that, then this may sit there and, believe it or not, keep on having to tank. It's got to sit there and get above 52,000, 700 to even possibly end and call that a bottom at all. But right now we don't know until we kind of see some more price action taking place. I think that's it to summarize everything. Abu Dhabi is still leading the worldwide markets as far as percentage movement and everything. It really hasn't even gone through a medium pullback at all. It's got a lot of minor pullbacks to go up. It's also leading the Middle East. If you look at Europe, you pretty much got Israel leading there. If you got Asia, counting everything from China all the way down to Australia, New Zealand is leading the way. And North and South America, pretty much the U.S. markets are leading the way there. So that's pretty much a summary of all the global markets there. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at info@eiicapital.com, or you can contact us any of our information over here. That's it for this week, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.